Good evening, friends, and happy to welcome you back. Our pandemic heroes shows again in insurance. A lot of speakers are coming and talking about their achievements in pandemic time, how difficult we have crossed it out of that. And then I just feel a lot of very good response and feedback from you all. To know more more about the two programs has been really encouraged a lot of people to watch. And the motive of the program is to be encourage more members to get qualified for the certain, and it has to helpful for their lives to get brighter into that. So same way, I was so admire about one of the person just watching in Facebook, and she was so active to talk about women empowerment, and she was been helping out. So recently, I just admire about her, and I just invite her to our program and talk about what was she was qualified MDRT in the pandemic time, and she's looking forward. But if financial industry is not new to her, she was there more than 20 years with us. So just know about her, and I just want to invite her to our program. None other than we have member from United States of America, Miss Pamela SAMS. So before I'm inviting our program, I like to want to show her profile. It should be a short profile. Then we'll discuss a lot of things with Pramila. Looking forward on that. Okay. I'm just sharing the profile right now. So today we are covering the topic about in pandemic heroes, growing your practice by niching. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And this is short profile about Pamela SAMS, and she been there for just talk about 20 years. Pamela has been helping women in their different kind of problems or anything. She has been giving them the financial solution. So that's what he is just mentioning about here. Pamela has been helping women improvement their personal and financial wealth through the solid financial life planning. So that is something she has very strong. So that's what I admire about her there. She also focusing on helping her clients secure their financial futures so they can help you out in their lives. She also became a strong voice of personal financial of women. So she was more given been or talk about how this woman empowerment works for that, what mainly needed for them also. And she is also a speaker. She talk about a lot of things in the open forum, and she also in the various financial institutions. She will be in the publications also. You've been there. But we connected with her about also we she also one of part of our family into MDRT, and she qualified in high time like pandemic, and she doing it into now she expanding, and we are wishing to move forward to COT on top of the table. So she was a vast experience into the financial industry, but now she is to the phase of MDRT. Now we want to know what was the journey, how she taken forward from that. So this is about short profile about her. Just we want to connect her and welcoming your program right now. Hi, Pamela. Happy to welcome you all on our program.
Great. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to share.
Thank you so much. And how was the US? And I think you are in Virginia, Washington, right? So what was the situation? How was COVID there? And how was your business was going on?
Well, now or now or during the pandemic. It's still, of course, during the pandemic, like everybody else, pretty much in quarantine. Started doing a lot of virtual meetings, just trying to transition. I had an office before, but just kind of to meet clients there as needed. But everything, of course, during the pandemic turned to more virtual Zoom meetings like this. And it's actually really expanded my practice. I was able to really not just focus in on the metro area and Virginia, DC market, but like you said, I'm very active on social media. So a lot of people were finding me there across the country, across the world. And so it actually expanded, and I was able to really do some outreach and bring on the clients from other areas as well.
Great, great. And I'm happy to bring you after 20 years. I'm trying to connect with you before traveling to Boston. So that's what I'm lucky to have you in the program today. So I'm just taking forward to move, as usual, formally, we take it forward these programs into your personal life, and you talk about what is your success and other things. So normally I just put it for you've been, financial industry for more than 20 years, right? So so keen on to mainly on women empowerment. They need to know what is the thing like states. It's always very important for them actually work for some communities to do for it. What
Mhm.
motivated you for last 20 years and how you feel right now? Can you tell about that?
Yeah. Exactly. I wake up every morning really with the intent to help women achieve financial success through proper financial planning and actually life planning. So I put a little bit of that behavioral financial planning together really to understand my clients a lot more. So it's a lot more questions, more in depth, kind of a more of a coaching relationship to understand their lives. And then, of course, I always say financial planning is all about life planning with money matched to it. So I integrate that as well. But just a little bit of my background and how I got into financial services. Actually, in 2000, September 2001, unfortunately, I lost my dad. I had a heart attack, fairly sudden, leaving my mother as a widow. During that time period, I had just completed an MBA in financial management. A couple of years before that, just figuring out what my next best steps were, thinking I was going to go into something totally different, investment banking or something that where the money was. Then I had two kids back to back in graduate school and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, like I said, my dad passed away and I was able to step in and really help my mother figure out her finances. So I figured there were other women similar to my mother, by themselves now, either widowed. I work with a lot of single by choice, divorced, and widow women. Really need help and understanding and need a trusted advisor there to walk the journey with them. So that's why I wake up every day passionate about, who I need to talk to, who I need to touch, what women are out there who need me. So that's what motivates me every day.
Great, great. So you just talk about women empowerment. Why it
Mhm.
is so important that you why you just giving so important to that actually? So what was happening?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, there's about, I think the last statistic I saw was 90% of women at some point are going to be by themselves to try to figure out finances on their own. And that's, like I said, I think they need a trusted partner there with them in order to understand their finances a little bit better. Just yesterday I spoke with a 82-year-old woman who found me through a referral, and not knowing exactly what she needed to do with her own finances. So really just not knowing where to go, what particular advice to get, and me being able to step in and play that role for my clients. That's what I enjoy, empowering women to understand their finances a little bit more. Because, like I said, at some point they're going to be on their own and need to make these choices.
Do you any specific kind of communities you target to you want to help them for it, or it's openly you go and talk to them about your clients?
hmm Well, I mean, most of my clients, like I said, single by choice, divorced, widowed. Most of them are, considered like in the U.S. Boomer age, somewhere between 45 and 65. That's kind of the sweet spot where a lot of women are making those decisions on, I need to educate my kids. How am I going to do that? I'm also going to plan for retirement as well. And what is my life going to look like, post work, after life after work, so to speak. So those are usually the people who start to inquire about financial services and insurance. And then that's when they reach out. And so I do a lot of seminars, of course, webinars across this area, but also online. And those are usually the people who are attracted, those community of women.
So that's a primary one, right? So you talk about finance as well as for their behaviors, because I just call the behavior financial also you do it that actually for that. So what kind of clients you deal with that actually? So it's there's only the widows you deal with them or any what kind of clients you deal with them?
That's kind of the most of them are women in those age groups and that demographic, but I serve everybody. I had a young gentleman come to me a few months ago. It's like, do you only work with women? No, I work with all types of people. But those are generally the ones that my marketing, this is all about niching. So that's kind of how I grow. It's really focusing in on one particular demographic and doing that well in that market.
How do you find business in pandemic time? So you qualified MDR for 2 3 times, right? So how do you find it difficult with that? Or you
Yeah,
find it difficult doing that?
exactly. So during that time period, like I said, I always had a social media strategy. And if anybody is doing social media, I think it's a little bit better now. But I started kind of an early adopter on that and just did it consistently. And then all of a sudden, when the pandemic happened and people were looking for resources, they were online, and then I was there and I was visible. So that was a fair amount of the word of mouth and the referrals. So just even last year or during the pandemic, a lot of people found me on Facebook groups, referrals from people who may or may not even be clients, but they saw me on Facebook or they saw some articles. So that's how a lot of it happened during the pandemic, was really just kind of viral growth through social media, and also existing clients who referred me because they were going through it as well, like everybody else. And then people would speak to them about, do you know anybody? So a lot of it was also referral.
It's wonderful. When you and I connected through Facebook, right? So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's how the format. But you're part of our family, so I just need to know about how this works for you. So I'm happy to be there, and wonderful that. So I'm just moving to another question. That what kind of habits you follow daily to keep yourself active?
To keep myself active physically or just through work?
Both.
Both.
After pandemic, you could not have put
I
both
know.
questions in that.
Yeah. I mean, physically, of course, working out and doing that, eating right, of course, because, as in this business, you can be working. I always, I think the saying is entrepreneurs or business owners, we gave up, working 40 hours a week to work 100. So we need to make sure we are energized. So, of course, eating right and exercising keeps me physical. And of course, your mental health, we need to keep sharp on the recommendations and all of the rules and regulations. So I do a fair amount of puzzles, and I love Wordle if anybody's doing that these days. Just really keeping your mind sharp and some of the habits that I do. And then also do, a fair amount of meditation in the morning to kind of get going, kind of intent or center myself before I get going in the day.
Into business, what kind of habit? Make it
In business, really just keeping sharp on what's all the rules and regulations, making sure that I know things. Also learning more about, I started a course in cryptocurrency to make sure that I was aware of what was going on in that space, just in case clients came to ask me about, should they be in it, should they be exposed, what is it? So I did recently get a certificate. It's through the Digital Assets Council. So I do have a certificate in crypto, well, basically digital assets. So really just keeping yourself top of mind, and also learning as you grow in order to educate your clients as well.
so wonderful. That's that. So the learning is the key, right? So keep learning. A lot of things to even a client, or it be whether it is a part of your business or not, but you must know to that. That's it about that. Okay. My question is that one. The next one is the. So what kind of learning you do? Means you've been with the 20 years, right? So can you able to suggest some of your friends know about your global members to know to keep strong in your professional? What kind of learnings you do? So in MDRT, we have a lot of things like goal
Yes.
percentage, we have objection handlings, focus sections and everything. But I mean, coming to you on a professional, be like about you've been managing about women empowerment, and mainly you're talking about widows and other thing. So what kind of learnings you do?
Yeah, anything that has to do with the community that I do serve. So if there's, laws that are coming down the pike, how to split marital assets. Also, partnering with divorce attorneys, because I do, like I said, a fair amount of women who are divorced. So I take advantage of that. Colleagues who have either webinars or seminars or different things that I need to know about in that space. Of course, my kids tease me about, do you read any other books besides or magazines besides financial publications? And I'm like, yeah, occasionally, but for the most part, I'm looking at these financial stories either through the journals or publications and or books, so I can keep myself sharp as well. So, I need to be in the know for my clients. So those are the type of learning. And of course, if there's any courses, getting certifications. If you mentioned in my bio, I have the behavioral financial advisor designation, which I got several years ago in order to really enhance what I offer to my clients on understanding how they make money decisions from a behavioral standpoint. So really just constantly learning.
So, how was your taking forward as a speaker? So,
Mhm.
a lot of communities covering, and you be motivation for a lot of members, right? So, how you feel? So, what do you talk about that?
Yes, actually, you mean the speaking
Yeah.
in general, or just the one that's coming up in globally?
Whichever it is. So that.
Oh gosh, I mean, whatever, excuse me, whatever people want to know about. For the most part, I have kind of a signature talk called Women, Wealth, and Well-Being. So it talks about kind of the connection between being financially well, and then also some of the things that women need to know about specifically, since we are going to live longer. So really, the parts of, in the U.S., Medicare and Social Security and all of those things. So I do education on those. I do an event with some clients, kind of a client bring a friend that I call Money and Mimosas. So we get together and we do a little Q&A on just understanding, excuse me, understanding about their money, but really in a non-threatening environment, so they can learn. And then we have fun, drinking mimosas during that event. So any of the topics, but for the most part, it's really educating on the different areas that women need to know about. Like I said, in the U.S., Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, educating kids, becoming really caregivers for aging parents as well. That's one of the things. Unfortunately, a lot of times women are out of the workplace because of either caring for children or being a caregiver for aging parents. So some of the things that they need to know there as well.
Wonderful. And I heard about that you have been talking into the NDRT forum, right? So,
Mhm.
which one is Sydney? Is it? Yeah.
Yes, so the global conference in Sydney. Yes,
So, what kind
and
of topic
so
is that? So,
yeah,
the member
and
can.
so yeah, in that focus session, and actually it is all about introducing behavioral finance into your practice. It has helped tremendously, really understanding the existing clients that I have, going back and doing what I call rediscovery sessions, and really getting to a deeper level with your clients, not just the money piece, understanding them a lot more behavioral. So really, how do you introduce that to existing clients, but also how do you market yourself in terms of differentiating your practice with behavioral finance? So that's what the focus session is about all about, how do people make money decisions? What is their, how does their behavior dictate that, their relationship with money, how they grew up with money? So a lot of that will be discussed in that focus session.
Wonderful. And looking forward, I think members who watch you that they also looking forward to hear from you. So, hopefully, we'll have a live, live your focus section. We'll have listen to anything. So the main questions I'm coming right now. So you've been
Yeah.
achieved your MDRT for last 3 years, right? So continuously achieved for 3 years. I think those 3 years is a pandemic one, right? So
Yes.
did MDRT help you to grow in your professional?
It did actually, and I think during probably right before the pandemic, I was selling a lot of life insurance, and then one of the carriers that I was working with, they said, hey, you qualify for MDRT. And I was familiar with MDRT basically, since the beginning of my career, but it was just kind of plotting and doing whatever I was doing, and not really looking into it a little bit more until it was kind of put on the table. It's like, hey, you make the numbers. So, okay, go ahead and apply. But from there, it's a really good opportunity. Of course, all of the resources we get, the roundtable, the website, the conferences, really getting a chance to understand the business a little bit more. And everybody's so welcoming and open, even veterans who have been in business for way longer than I have, willing to share their best practices. So taking those resources and taking those things and implementing those in your practice has definitely helped grow. If there's objections, or if there are certain things that you did not know how to do or handle before, there's always a resource that you can find either on the website or through the publications that MDRT has. And then you're able to, move the needle a little bit more in your practice, just based on some things that you could do a little bit differently than you had before.
What do you like most in MDRT? So you've gone through that, right? Still you are not in the in-person, right? So what do you like most in MDRT?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I have done the smaller meetings, the edge meetings in the U.S. So I did that, and I actually did speak at the last one in Philadelphia this past November. And just like I said, the welcoming atmosphere of it and the knowledge base that the MDRT has with all of the different professionals and everybody willing to help, then that's really what I enjoy. And of course, once you do become a member, people get you involved. So I am actually a community leader in the U.S., the MDRT U.S. and Canada as a community leader with that, and just really getting involved and understanding how MDRT works, but also having a whole network of people that you can call upon. There's study groups, there's book clubs. If you're just join as a member, you're probably doing yourself a disservice. You really need to either get involved and also do a lot of the meetings and do outreach. Anything and everything that you want to know is available through MDRT for your practice.
That's a magic of MDRT, right? So I'm somewhere in India, you're somewhere in US, right?
Mhm.
We're talking about MDRT and your achievements, and the key goal is that to keep continue our efforts, to not stop
Mhm.
anything, to grow next level. For that's the key of MDRT is that the main thing sharing is sharing your success and sharing another success, and taking a
Mhm.
lot of idea sharing. That's very very important to the MDRTs for. I'm happy about that. You've been qualified for MDRT. Look forward to see you qualify for your coat of the table and top of the table. Look forward to that.
Mhm. Actually, last year I did. I qualified for quarter to table, so I am a quarter to table now. But as you said, with MDRT, it's always about growth and moving. So my target this year is top of the table. So I think the thing is really the matrix that you have available on the website that you can track your production. That really kind of pushed me last year with the quarter to table. It's like, okay, once you become a member, these are the other matrix that you do need to reach. So really, putting in the effort in order to make it, looking through your pipeline and say, okay, I have a certain amount that's in, I can make these qualifying numbers. So yes, I was, by December 31st of last year, I was able to make quarter to table. So right now I am tracking for top of the table. So I'm keeping my foot on the pedal to the metal.
All the best, and I wish you all the best for you. And how is the current US market? How you find current US market? What kind of products you can able to refer the clients? Not only the committee one, so globally. So how was the US market?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, we're in a whole geopolitical situation around the world. So the stock markets have been fairly erratic. So people are a little bit, scared on where can I put money. But for the most part, if you put together, as you know, a solid financial plan, hopefully, with a proper asset allocation, people can weather the storm a little bit more. But what I have been introducing is really the concept of cash value life insurance. A lot of people do not take advantage of it as much as they should, and there's a way to really put money away. Of course, have a life insurance need, but there's money that you can use for using life insurance as an asset class. So I've been introducing that a lot more as well because I wouldn't say it doesn't have any risk, but there's a way to park money. You don't have to really be concerned about the volatility of the market as well. So those are some of the things. And of course, annuities and long-term care has come up as well. We've been through a pandemic, and that has really put or shed light into people thinking about their mortality a little bit better, more than they had before. So more inquiries about long-term care insurance and how to take care of that in the event that a long-term care situation occurs.
So any specific product in the US market currently they have to look forward. So what was your advice into that?
Well, I mean, with long-term care, looking at maybe more not standalone, but looking at life insurance with riders, long-term care riders. Same thing with annuities with long-term care riders. So taking that into account. In addition, like I said, cash value life insurance as an asset class for additional retirement resources is one. And the old-fashioned, of course, mutual funds for more target date for clients who are a little bit more skittish on what's going on with the market, and if they can weather the storm a little bit more, really just putting together a proper asset allocation.
So my next question is that after pandemic, a lot of people we adopted system like Zooms and
Mhm.
whatever like webinar, webcams, and after meeting the clients and all things. So do you find the prospecting currently market to use digital form like we already experience into social media?
Mhm.
So what are the things you use it, and how it was helpful for you?
Yeah. Like I said, it's really helped tremendously because now I think it opened up the doors a little bit more for people willing to work with advisors, not just locally in their region, being open to working with people from different areas. So, I have in the US people as far as, I'm on the East Coast. I have people over in California and, Washington State and things like that. So as long as you have visibility online, and people are willing to meet via Zoom, similar to this, and or any other platform that they want, WebEx or whatever, I think that opens up the more opportunity for lead generation through social media, but also able to attract clients as well who are willing, like I said, now to explore outside of their region and don't necessarily have to have a meet face to face, that they can do it virtually.
So which one you prefer to the advisors to do that? Any new advisors to want to do a digital?
Mhm.
So which one you prefer to that? This could be useful for them on the in this current market. This is one I feel it is Zoom. We do
Mhm.
contracting with it. So what are the things you can able to refer to them actually?
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I mean, I prefer kind of the virtual because it allows me to really kind of do multiple meetings in a day. Sometimes if you're in the office and you're back to back, or some people don't show up and things like that, I think people are more willing to jump online than they are to, at least in my region. It's fairly congested. So sometimes it takes a while to get to your office, sit there for maybe a 30 or 40-minute meeting. Then they got to get back in the car and they got to do that. So that may be a little bit of a deterrent meeting face to face. So a lot of clients prefer, to continue to do virtual, even though we are opening up a little bit more in the US. The mask mandates have been lifted in most places. Most clients are still saying, hey, it's a lot more convenient. I don't have to get dressed, come and see you, stood in traffic. Let's continue to do it online. So I think more people are kind of still doing that. I do have, kind of some what I call old school people who want to meet you face to face. So I do a little bit of that as well. But for the most part, I do have a virtual platform.
It's a great one. And you've been traveling for 20 years on women empowerment, talking about their financial
Mhm.
situation, right? So you would have crossed a lot of difficult times in your professional and in your own life. How to
Mhm.
overcome it? So do you able to have anything to talk about that actually? Because today people see the failures, they just want to stay away from that actually. Okay, so
Yeah.
20 years definitely you would have crossed a lot of things, right? Like, so how to face the difficult times?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This business is difficult at times, and I probably in my mind quit this business a dozen times. But I knew, like I said, that main mission that I started my practice out with is really to help empower women with their finances. So that kind of keeps me going during those difficult times where you just wake up and nothing's going right. There's a fair amount of cancellations, or you lose some clients, or some things may happen and you are really stressed out about it. But I have a mentor, and I have always had a business coach, and she always talked about, you have a limited amount of time to give yourself a pity party, and then the rest you got to kick yourself in the butt and get going. So give yourself some time to have a little bit of a pity party on what may be going on during that difficult time, but then reassess and then figure out what you need to do next, what your next best step is to move you forward, because it's not going to help you just kind of continuing to waddle in whatever it may be going on. Of course, we all have difficult lives and things that go on, but having a strategy in order to get yourself a little bit out of that funk, give yourself some time to either grieve it or have your pity party, but have a strategy in order to move yourself forward as well. I think you're speaking without. Yes.
So yeah, your confidence make you stronger and stronger. I believe it. So that's a
Mhm.
key one aspect. And what was you want to give a message to your community? So you are travel last right? So they could have people watching right now. So what's one
Yeah.
message to them actually?
Yes, that's always a loaded question. One message. Is that, I think with all of us in our businesses is that we know the direction. We have a roadmap, of course, towards the beginning of each year. Most people know, but if at some point during the time during the year that things aren't going according to plan, just take it. I think it's called the 12-month year or 12-week year. So you're basically breaking up your year in within every 12 weeks. So 3 months. So look at it quarterly. Don't how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So if you need to just take an assessment, we finished basically first quarter at the end of March, and we're into a second quarter too. If you're not where you need to go, what do you need to do in order to catch up? So don't let yourself fall behind, and then have a game plan. Just reassess and keep going, and get the help that you need. This is not a do-it-yourself type of situation. If you need help, MDRT is an excellent resource to, hey, if I'm struggling in doing this, I'm not closing right, or I have a lot of stuff stuck in my pipeline. How do I get it out? How do I do things? There's always resources to go to in order to move that needle, like I said. So don't work alone on trying to figure it out. Really reach out to anybody. Like I said, everybody's super nice. If you see anybody, we connected on Facebook, and there's some things that we've been talking about. So if there's things that you need to know, reach out, speak to people, read your resources, visit the website, so you don't have to go at it alone.
Good, good, good. Then it's amazing one for you. Just talk about that. And so, what kind of message for your clients? On you, new clients or old clients? What was your message? And you are always there to help them. So, what was your message to them actually?
Well, my message for my clients are, if you ever visit my website, or if you can see in the top screen of my header, there is that there's a swan. So the swan is actually two meanings in my practice. One is an acronym, which means sleep well at night. So that's the first swan. And then the second swan is, or the second is a metaphor, which means transforming what I call ugly duckling situations or financial situations into beautiful financial swans. So whenever I have a client become a client, I do send them out a nice little glass swan as a reminder of the work that we're doing together, and that now we're partnering together. They're able to sleep well at night. So I do tell them to put it on their nightstand as a reminder of the work that we're doing together. So that's always my message to my clients, is that what we're doing together, now you should have a little bit of comfort. So at the end of each meeting that I do meet with clients and/or a new prospective client, I ask them how they're feeling. What is it that they're feeling? Is it joy? Is it relief? Is it whatever that is? And I jot that down in their notes. And so whenever we are hitting some of those rough patches throughout the year, I go back to that. This is what the feeling that you had when we first got together. How do we get back to basically either nirvana or whatever that was during these difficult times? So that's always my message, is able to help my clients sleep well at night, and then transforming their finances into something much more beautiful.
Wonderful. I hope most of your clients see that, maybe happy about that, being associated with you. So I'm just putting my last questions to you, because we have just come to the end of the program. What was your goal for the year? And you've been so much years for fighting for the women's rights. So what was the message to the women advisors in around the world?
I think everybody's goal is going to be different. I mean, of course, if you have production goals, mine is, top of the table this year. So everything that I've been doing has been geared towards how do I get there for that. And it's the same, benchmarks for different female advisors who are out there, is that find whatever goals are. It just may be, I just need to be an MDRT a member. Maybe I'm just MDRT Academy, or maybe I'm shadowing, or maybe I'm finding a mentor, or being a mentee to somebody. I have, several mentees that I mentor as well. So maybe it's going out to find a mentor. Maybe it's a production goal. Whatever those goals are, take an assessment every, like I said, every 3 months, that 12-week year that I talked about. It is a book. I can't remember the author, but if you look it up, 12-week year, it'll show you basically how to reach all of your goals within, little bite-sized chunks, not looking at the whole year as well. So reassess, where you're in the second quarter, reassess what your business plan looks like, and just kind of keep your head down, keep going, and ask for help when you need it.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best because I'm waiting to meet you in Boston. So we'll meet up, have more discussion there. And I'm looking forward you complete your top of the table. We'll have one more program with you, how you eat your top of the table for that.
Yes, you have to have me back for that one.
Yeah, definitely with that actually. So thank you so much for taking a wonderful time to join with us today and sharing about your wonderful experience for last 20 years we carry for this industry. And we'll get a good health for you, and you should be happiness. Try to cover up more families in your own states, and hopefully a lot of people get benefit out of your advice.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, friends. Today we connected with Pamela, SAMS, and from all the way from United States of America. So the pandemic heroes, they are not just a normal insurance advisors. These people have been just tremendously given their efforts and times to get qualified for this MDRT forum. Not only on their life, they are highlighted into that. So we will see one more pandemic heroes in upcoming events, and we'll learn a lot of things from this. So I'm just signing off right now for this program. Thank you so much, Sams. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.